Hello, hello, everybody. I'm thinking of doing some painting today. Gotta, gotta scratch that itch. Let's see. I gotta make sure first that I'm actually live. I always gotta check this. Okay. I'm thinking of painting Kor-Drath. Let's see. I am live. Good. Okay. Yeah, I want to paint something. I'm feeling the itch to paint. Actually, I've been working on my own comic painting, so feeling kind of confident to paint. I'm gonna do a like a portrait of Kor-Drath. I think it'd be cool. I just want to do the 3/4 color drawing, and I thought, why not do Kor-Drath? Just a cool portrait. So, as you can see, what do I start with? An egg shape, a little lower at the bottom. X marks the spot. That's where I start on my roadmap, my journey to drawing Mr. Monster Man, Kor-Drath. Well, no, he's not a monster. He's monstrous. Paul's Arts, always here. Haldair is here. And I'm here. So I haven't done one of these live streams in a while. Okay. My way of approaching a face. X right there. That's where I'm starting. Bring up the eyebrows along the shape of this head. Give myself a couple eyeballs. Now I'm going back here. I'm going to start on that nose. Kor-Drath has this just bruiser nose. He just, he's probably been fighting his entire life. From he was a toddler. He was probably fighting people like Hercules. He probably strangled a serpent in his crib. I think that was the legend of Hercules. See how nice this is? I got a couple of eyeballs right here, and then I just follow the skin along it, like it's, and I got perfectly placed eyeballs. That's how I got there. It's like, how do you get there? Well, that's how I get there. That's my map. Now, kind of following this line down a little bit, that's this X, that's the center of your mouth. But of course, you're not drawing it straight on like this. You're drawing it on an angle. That means it's going to be shorter on this side and longer on that side, like this. Cheekbones. Think of the skull. That's why I often draw. I'm really drawing a skull a lot of times. When you're drawing this stuff, it's like, okay, have that brow, and then the skull kind of comes down here like this, Well, that's what I'm drawing. When I draw you see me draw these. I'm actually drawing the definition of that bone in there. I'm not going to make this too defined right now because I'm going to paint it. This is not a drawing tutorial. This is a painting tutorial. So I can be messy. It doesn't matter. I'm really just creating a map for myself. getting all the components worked out. What actually I might go with a little bit thicker brush. Now, as you know, I use soft round brushes basically. That's what I don't really use the hard brushes at all much. Especially if you're going to paint. So you can see it's coming alive. It's coming alive. Get rid of this skull over here. I'll just move him because he's actually helpful for you guys to kind of see that, I think. Maybe. Okay, let's see what the comments are. Shanth is here. Well, Shanth, come on in. I gave you a link. I put the link in the Twitter if you want, if you got some time. Let's see. I'm actually drawing on my Galaxy tab using the Clip Studio Paint right now. Oh, that's good. And Helder's been making time-lapse videos. You know, one thing I think I did some time-lapse when I started off, Helder, and I think that live, you know, drawing in real time is more helpful for people. And the reason is you get to hear what I'm thinking. Like I try my best to think out loud, and I think people find that very, very helpful. So keep that in mind when if you're as opposed to time lapse. Time lapse is cool; it's fun to look at, but as far as like if you're really trying to, help people see what you're doing, boy, it's good to be able to hear what they're saying too. So Marcus Kelligrew, hello, how are you, sir? Hey, and who's a mod here? I don't know. I gotta make people mods, but I think Marcus, you are. Can you put the link to Kor-Drath in this in the chat? That'd be. Oh, you did already. Duh. There it is. That was fast, man. You did it before I even saw it. Sorry. I'm an artist. I'm not observant. I'm an artist, you know. Okay, back to the drawing here, or painting, I should say. All right, I'm gonna pick a flesh tone. Any flesh tone. It can be warm, it can be cool. Doesn't matter. Oops, I got this select tool on there. Because whatever flesh tone I have, if it's too red, I'll take it towards the yellow. If it's too yellow, I'll take it towards the red. So I might just leave the hair to last. So he'll look like a typical comic skate creator with no hair. Another tip for doing these videos is when you do them live is the advantage of this is people find out just how stupid you are, because you know that like with I didn't even see Marcus had already put the thing in the chat, and it's like so that helps people. That gives them encouragement. Like if this moron can draw, why can't I draw? This guy can't even see what's in front of him. Heck, you can't be that smart. Oops, I made it. This is Pride Month here. So, oh my God. Gotta watch the lips a little too yellow. Okay, I'm putting in some shadows now, thinking about how the shadow, the light source is coming down here, and it's gonna start at here and follow along the lines of his face. The shape and mold. So you see this pops out a little bit. So there we go, a little bit of that. Now I'm going towards the nose. Gonna hit that shadow, how that might fall. Now I'm going to do some shadow on the face, the mouth here. How would the shadows hit? How would the light hit if it was going from the top here? Let's see. No, Pride is over. Okay. Yeah. So that's why I had to get rid of it. Otherwise, I would put the lipstick back on him. Are you starting to dig Paul? You're starting to dig the doing this. Yeah, it's the thing is, it doesn't really matter. Painting is painting. It doesn't matter exactly what your tools are, as long as you're putting the right color in the right place. That's really what it is. Put the right line, the right color in the right place. Now a little bit of highlights on here. Getting his brow up here, a little shine on his forehead. He's looking a little dorky right now. I gotta cool him up, make him cooler. Not cool color, cool, just make him cool. All right, I'm going to get into these eyes in a minute here, because the eyes are so important to getting the character. Give him some tendons coming out of the neck here. So you got muscles that come in front. The two sort of shaped like shaped like this in front on each side. Adam's apple's in the middle. Little gap there. Flows into the chest muscles. Then you draw these massive chest muscles. Now, how I find the shoulders, I like to follow these tendons right down the body, halter strap style, and it's a good way to find where to start your shoulder muscles. Then you make these shoulder muscles just as massive as you want. You can make them big, like you can take them out like that. I mean, I could really make them big, increase the neck muscle size. Or not. You can keep any size you want. That's really where you add your bulk. Ears are pretty simple. I mean, actually, no, not really simple, but they're really kind of odd. But, it's basically a shape. Oh, yeah, I think somebody popped in. Hang on a second. Shump!
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Hello. How are you, man?
Great, brother.
Yeah. I saw you on the show last night. You were having a lot of fun. Looked like. Hey, it looks like I have to rearrange this configuration, though. I have because I think you're covering up too much of the drawing. I'll have to do this.
Which
means I got to rearrange this shape of this a little bit. Let's see if I want to fill the space, of the thing, and it kind of there is. That's good.
Yeah,
that works.
People are here for your art, man. So make that the center. That's why we're here.
Yeah. So I could just ask you now, because it's kind of funny. I texted you the other day and I said, "Hey, do you want to do a show? Do you remember Players?" The show Players we did with Gabe Al-Taib did a show. It had me, Gary Martin, Aaron Lepresti, and David Williams. And
of course.
We would just take an artist like J.C. Leyendecker or something like that, and we would just delve into it and just talk about it and stuff like that. And I thought Gabe was, very charismatic and interesting person in a lot of ways, but
Yeah.
he's challenging to work with sometimes. And he would dominate the conversation, and he wouldn't really talk about what I was thinking of doing, that something like that, but more like really like draw the copy like I do with my Frazetta pictures, kind of copy, look at something, go, that's cool, and then let's take a look at it and actually in real time copy it, and what I'm saying, really study it, do real studies into these artists and talk about it, and I, because the thing is, I know you love comics the same illustrators I do, and and it would be kind of fun, just you and I. We could maybe bring in guests or something, but
wait, you mean the two of us talking about art while we work? That seems, I don't think we should do it, even though we're doing it now. But
you have to twist your arm.
Yeah, you'd have to twist my arm, man. Now that sounds cool, dude.
It could be. I think it'd be interesting.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Because I really looked forward to that show every week. I was super bummed when the whole thing unraveled, and I kind of miss it. And I've been kind of looking for something since then. And then those guys started Graybeards, and I get invited occasionally onto that, but I'd like to do something more often, And
well, you don't have a beard as much as you need to, I guess. And
yeah.
No.
Well, I actually do. It's pretty pathetic, but it's there. And
yeah, man, it's good.
Okay, let's see. I got to tell people what I'm doing too, though. Just doing out these tendons more. Okay, let's see.
Let me shut up and you work, okay?
No, shut up. Actually, you talk. Yeah.
Oh no.
But I'm just like going at it. I want, Kor-Drath needs some attention too. I really want to see that selling more than it is. It had a good first issue, a good start, but the story isn't even, it's starting to really ramp up. This time it's going to be, they're going up against the big baddie and stuff like that for the first time. Now that's exciting. Have you seen any pages from Kor-Drath, Andy stuff?
I've seen a few when I was doing the intro for him, and then I bought 3 copies of the first issue. So I'm totally on board, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So it's a great adventure story. Obviously, Dennis loves the fantasy, role playing, all that stuff, gaming. So it's and I think there's a game sort of council or whatever you call it, a player game included with the, if you can get it as, I think, or is it an option? I don't know, but that's where I did the Bart Steers coloring, which was a lot of fun. Which actually I could bring that up. You've seen that before, haven't you? But just in case people haven't seen it, let's see, where is that?
I'm going to share this out on X. Hang on one second.
Oh, that's the Kor-Drath color. I could show those too, actually. Let's see. Kor-Drath covers. I'm looking. I should have these things ready to go, but I, of course, don't. I'll have to type it in here. Yeah, so you guys are having a lot of fun last night on Shane's show.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was. You know what, man? I got to tell you something. I get to this point of exhaustion where once I start laughing, I couldn't stop. I could barely breathe. I was like, oh my God, I've got to stop.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. Too funny, man. Yeah, I'm actually was going to fire up a stream, and then I saw you were streaming. I was excited because I'm doing a sketch right now just for fun to promote Joe Frankenstein, which has got 7 days left. So you're doing Kor-Drath, and let's get some eyes on all these books, man. They're fantastic.
I know. Let's see. Where's my... Yeah, here's the Kor-Drath cover,
that's
gaming
beautiful.
cover that I painted. I guess I could say I painted it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I went to town on this baby. So I really got a kick out of it. This is the thing. I'm doing classic illustration coloring on this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like it's not. This is what's so great now. You can do this with the computer. Back when I was starting out, you had flat colors. That I think that fantasy is going to have a resurgence, and because of this, because back fantasy always had a problem in comics. Every time they tried it, except for Conan, most of them didn't really do that well because in the superheroes did better because you had bright colors. Like you had when you have flat colors, you're coloring Spider-Man red and yellow. I mean, red and blue, and Superman's got the red, yellow, and blue, and that was really, it looked good on a piece of paper. It was the best on newsprint and that sort of thing. But when you colored a barbarian, he was pink, and it just wasn't.
Yeah.
It didn't work that well. Wasn't that cool then. But the barbarian stuff was always pretty good art wise. Like the Frazetta covers printed well because they were paintings. But now with the computer, I can paint this stuff, and that's like I said, I think there's going to be a resurgence
Absolutely.
in fantasy, and of course your book, Nosfero, is fully painted, and it's so exciting that you can do that stuff now.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was just hanging out with Eric Weathers. We get together once a week, not on a stream, but just to talk painting and artwork. And we were looking at today. I was showing him this the illustrated press book on Dean Cornwell, and Dean Cornwell, man, is that guy good. And I just was. It just got me thinking about, all of those guys, and a lot of the guys in CG are monster kids. We love traditional illustration, and there's this real interest in this stuff. I was hungry for this knowledge, when I went to school. And it's just great to finally have people around that you can talk Godzilla movies with, and painting with, and monsters and illustration. I mean, it's a real luxury. And I think I said to my wife this morning, go ahead.
When I was in art school, they didn't really teach much of that because that was kind of gone. The photography had sort of taken over advertising. So all that stuff is Biff is asking a question here. Does it matter at this stage whether you're EGB or CMYK? It depends on what you want to print, or what your final print is going to be. So if I had, if I'm doing in my illustration something like this, I got to keep in mind that's going to look good in RGB, but in CMYK it's going to just turn to blue. If I have these colors, So that's that's the only thing you have to keep in mind with the flesh tones and things like that. When you change it, let's just change it to RGB for a second here. I mean to and show you what happens. So these colors. Okay, you can see these colors deaden quite a bit. They're difficult to print, I believe, but the flesh tones in this guy stayed relatively the same. So it depends on what. Keep in mind when you're working what any of those fluorescent colors, any of that sort of stuff. That stuff is a problem. You have to keep that in mind. But as far as the rest of it, don't worry about it too much, because you can always once you even convert it to CMYK, you can increase the saturation and stuff like that. So it'll be pretty close. Would you concur?
Oh yeah, man. When I do Nosfero, one of the things I do is I get all the colors corrected in the Photoshop files for the scans in RGB, and then what I found is if I bring them into Adobe InDesign as RGB, but then export them, it keeps the reds richer. So I work with my printer to get all of these things together, and so that was one of the first big mistakes I made was. I mean, now granted, there's a million things. It's really working with your printer. Like they're the ones who walked me through this. But I kept seeing the reds. When people get Nosfero and you see the colors, to me, they're very close to the paintings. They're like bang on. It's because I was like doing all the research we do, right? Which is, oh, wait, I have to bring it into InDesign as RGB. Then if I export it, it's going to but I have to set the preferences. Like I have all this stuff on a sheet next to me, and it's when I'm doing this process. But yeah, it's a learning curve for sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. So part of the key is working with your printer, right? Asking them, can you print this and that sort of thing. If you're gonna, because I do think you can actually print those ultramarine colors and hot pinks. That I have seen them in print. So I think you have to work with your printer to try to get that out of it, right?
Yes,
To see if they can.
absolutely.
As they may not have, because they're really when they're printing, they have their inks, and they may not. I don't know if all of them can print those. They may be expensive or something like that. They may have to add extra some to the color or to the printing process. I don't know. I don't know much about it, but I do think that is something you have to keep in mind when you're working.
Yeah.
Okay, another question.
I mean,
I've been drawing for years, but really struggle when I try to paint. Any tips on making the switch? Shanth, what do you think?
oh dear God. First of all,
You're up.
Yeah, I'm up. I'm up. Coach just put me in here. So here's the thing. For me, I really had to work hard to not think about them as the same thing. So I had to look at people who were really painting, and for the first part of it, I was coloring in my drawings. And so limited palette is big. First do black and white paintings and use big square brushes with not a lot of effects, so you can just really flat things in. And I had to look at people who were great at painting and who weren't necessarily my favorite artists to understand what those big tricks were in terms of value. So yeah, that's the big thing I would say.
How do I make you big? Let's see.
Um,
Different things.
I don't know. I could put on heels. And by the way, I'm plenty big right now.
There's
I need
nothing
to go for a walk.
Look, nobody wants to see me big. This seems like the biggest I can make you. That doesn't seem
That's
right.
fine.
There should be a way to. There's got to be a button.
Hail,
Here. So
General
I went through them all.
Yeah, share the stream out, guys. General Piggy, it's great to see you, brother.
Okay.
Well, let me add this, though, to that whole thing. So I've just done a fully painted comic book. Before that, I crowdfunded 2 fully painted art books. And when I came off to college and graduated from college, I could not paint at all, zero, zip, zilch. And I didn't know how to paint, and I was afraid of color. So you can learn it. You absolutely can learn it. So don't think I was a natural, because I absolutely was not. That's the best bit of confidence I can share out there.
Here's another thing that's maybe kind of fun. What do you think of this? Okay, I'll take red, yellow, just like if you had paint and blue. Maybe I'll make it a little more of a regular blue there, and use these colors to do my picture.
Yeah, nice.
So and that's the thing is when you realize when you're painting, paint. Wait, I gotta turn off make it softer. And you're mixing these colors like that. That's really these are really the only colors you need, except for black and white, of course. Let me put black in here. But this picture I'm working on, this Kor-Drath thing, I can do this in these 3 colors, using just these 3 colors. Now, I prefer to use the color wheel over here. So, I can pick so I can get more accurate colors and that sort of thing. But I think just for fun, maybe I'll challenge myself to do it with just these colors, And see now here, this looks pretty red, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to take that yellow, just brush it over there. It's pretty orange. Now some white. And I'm there, pretty much, Add a little bits of blue maybe. Maybe I'll use this yellow and that sort of thing. Using the blue, a little bit of black. Getting there. It's fun drawing barbarians because they're dirty.
Yeah.
And it's so how easy it is to get paintings muddy, right? But that doesn't matter with the barbarian. He is muddy.
That's right.
It's awesome. Okay, you can see I'm getting my my basics down here. Getting the basics. There's nothing like drawing from life, though, to learn. To paint is, once you learn how to just draw with shading and all that stuff, then you're just adding color. As a matter of fact, I should try that one time, is to do a black and white drawing and then take the color and add color with the color overlay. Let's see what other we got. Yeah, that's Paul's was saying the CMYK. That's one of the problems. The CMYK is a larger file, and that's kind of, I think, one of the reasons I like to work in RGB too.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you this, Dan. I just got these new things I can add on to the back of my glasses. These little rubber stoppers that will keep my glasses from sliding down my nose. And I have to tell you, I thought God gave me big enough of a nose to where this would not be a problem, but it seems like it just escalates it. I mean, every 5 seconds, I'm having to grab my glasses. I just put these things on. These are going to be life-changing. My goodness.
Well, as we get older, though, apparently the only thing that grows is our noses and our ears. So, you just got to wait a little longer. That's what.
Yeah. Well, I think I started off with quite the dang advantage, so I'm already ahead on that. So we'll see how that goes.
You got a head start?
God almighty. Yeah, my wife is married to a Muppet. It's like Gonzo or something. Gonzo on donuts. Lord.
Yeah, well, I got an okay size nose. It's not a dinky thing, but
there you go.
I always wonder how its color will translate from monitor to home printer and find out actual publishing. Yeah, the amazing thing is how close. Like, I'll do some illustrations. I've done a lot of illustrations for pinups, covers for people. The printing today, it is amazing. It sometimes looks exactly like it does on my monitor. So I don't know if it's just I'm using Macs, Macintosh. So I don't know if that's part of it. It's good at calibrating it or not. But yeah, Marcus saw Bart Sears at Heroes Con. Great guy. Yeah, I was on a show with him. Really nice guy. He was at the Motor City Comic Con, but I didn't see him. I saw John Malin, I saw Billy Tucci, but I didn't see Bart. He was supposed to be there. I don't know why. So,
I was a huge fan of Bart Sears. I think I met him at a bunch of conventions, but I was one of those guys who, when I was coming up and I was reading the Wizard magazine Brutes and Babes section and seeing all of his little how-tos, that was just awesome, Paulus Art's cracking me up. He goes, "That's who you remind me of. Gonzo on donuts. That's what it is. I'm telling you."
Hey, if you go online, you have to have a sense of humor. You gotta be able to laugh at yourself. Because if you don't, man, you won't last long.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's fun though. I mean, I love it. It's like hanging out with friends, just shooting shit.
Oh my God, yeah, guys, and we appreciate you guys so much. I mean, I know Kor-Drath is getting close to 50K, guys. And so if you haven't backed it yet, and I know I've said this a few times before, but Andy Smith did the cover on my first professional work when I was 17. So I was getting my foot in the door, and I think he was just starting out. So this would have been way back when. So I always have, I always smile when I see the work that he does, and I've backed all of his campaigns. He does great work. He's a terrific guy. So if you haven't backed Kor-Drath yet, help get the word out, man. It's great stuff, man. And it's the same thing goes with Graham. I want to see that's almost to 80K.
Yeah.
Andy is
that Frankenstein stuff's awesome.
So good. Yeah.
It's just so fun. So it's like they're doing, you almost feel like don't you feel like you're starved for this stuff? Like this is what comics used to be. And then somehow, I don't know what happened. It's just like, the last 20 years, like the comics just turned into something weird. I don't know what. I look at these stories and they're not comics to me. And now here comes these guys who are still, they're masters of the craft, but they've also been doing these comic books and for a long time. So they remember the great comics, and they're just doing them now, and you can still get them. So it's great. And also because of crowdfunding, they have the time they need to make these books just as good as they can make them, and that's so cool.
You bet.
So, hey, maybe I'll show my this 2-person the covers for Kor-Drath, which I colored, the Bud Root art. That was cool too, so people can check that out. Okay, here's the the second cover. And this is the cover for issue 2 right here. So the one on the this one by Bud Root, the great Bud Root, which I didn't even know about his art. I didn't know he existed until this stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, who's this guy? So, did you know about Bud Root? Have you always been aware of him?
Yep. I was aware of him around this for a while. I became aware of him because Frank Cho was doing a lot of his cave woman pinups and sketches of his characters. So then I looked into him, and then Andy Smith introduced me to his The Art of Bud Root book, and I totally fell in love with this stuff. But yeah, I've got 2 copies of the cover that you did with Bud Root. Of course, I've got bagged and boarded Andy Smith's cover, which you also colored. Yep. And
this was issue 1 right here. I'm sorry. This was issue 1. Yeah,
beautiful.
That's the one you have. Yeah, I got a T-shirt of this. Andy sent me a T-shirt, and my wife's like, "You got something in the mail?" And so I went and took it in the other room, and I go, "Oh, it's a T-shirt with a naked lady on it." She's like, "What?" So I put it on, and I walked out. Look, see, a naked lady. She's like, she rolls her eyes. Yeah.
That's when you say, and now it should become a T-shirt with a naked lady in it. That's what let's do this thing.
That sounds good. Yeah. So this is issue 1, and then this will be issue 2, and they connect. And I'm gathering that I think there's going to be an issue 3 and 4, which will connect too. So you'll be able to connect all these Bud Root pictures, which would be really cool. You could put them up and you could frame those babies. But I went nuts. So, one danger I have when I'm going at this stuff is I have a tendency to overpower the illustration, and I'm always afraid of that. So, but I think Bud Root and I are kind of similar artists. We're sort of, realistic artists of sorts. So we kind of mesh pretty well. He seems to like the colors anyway, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, they're beautiful. And then, when you think about it, if you haven't gotten Kor-Drath, and I'm assuming a lot of you guys do. What's up, Anthony Gonzalez Clark? It's good to see all of you guys in the chat. If you haven't gotten it yet, the other thing that was just amazing to me was the color work you did on the backup story. So Bud Root drew that backup story, and then you just hit it out of the park with those colors. God, that's beautiful stuff, man.
I don't think there's going to be a backup on that one, but
you can still get it though, right?
Because yeah, for the first issue, because I think if you're checking out, you can probably buy both issues. I would imagine, So, but yeah, that was a blast. I mean, I put everything I had into those 4 pages.
Heck yeah, it shows. They're gorgeous, man. They're beautiful.
Yeah, I was really happy. Again, we were talking about printing and stuff. The printing turned out great. It looks pretty much exactly as it did on my computer screen. So, for people who are worried about that, who was saying that they're concerned about that, let's scroll back.
My man Eric Weathers in the house. Good to see you, Eric.
Oh, Eric's here.
My painting brother.
Eric, there is a link if you want to come on in. So yeah, I finished my Battlebrick Road pinup, and
sweet.
I think it turned out all right, man. I'm pretty happy with it. So. It was a lot of fun. So you give me a good character to work on like that, and I just it's fun as heck,
I love that book, man. Eric is just crushing it, and he's his layouts are fantastic. Storytelling is great. What him and Zeb are doing on the story end's beautiful. If you guys have not checked out Battlebrick Road, check it out. It's awesome. I think that those are those are the books, you know, again, we were talking about where are the people doing the great work and why is the great work not happening. It really isn't about social criticism and all of that other stuff. You've got to love it. You've got to love the stories. You got to love characters. You've got to love the art form of comics. And we all do here. And we just blood, sweat, and tears into every panel, every frame to make something beautiful for the audience, which should be the primary focus of all of us. You know, that's the joy of it.
Yep. You know, I have been working on my comic book the last couple of days, and it's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. I'm making it. You know, it's going to take a while though, because I'm painting the shit out of it, just like I'm doing right here. You know, this is what my comic book stuff is going to look like.
It's going to be so good, dude. I'm excited.
I hope so. I hope it doesn't bomb out. I do want to get a considerable amount done before I launch, because I am afraid of getting that sucker in there, you know, getting it going, and then all of a sudden like going, I hate this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to happen. But if I can get to about, you know, I don't know, 30 pages in, and it's like, this is just, I still love it, then I'll be more certain that I'll love it the whole way through, because I don't want to be stuck in a position where I got to fulfill something that I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So normally, I encourage crowdfunding, where you launch the project, and then you get to work on the project. Then, but for me personally, this is just my personal thing. You know, I really just want to. I really want to love it. I gotta. You know, I won't. It's not worth it to me to work on it if I don't love it. So it's got to be something I'm really proud of. Okay, so I'm still using just my red, black, and yellow and blue. So as you know, I always when I'm painting, I have one finger on the Option key, so I can just press that, and I get my eyedropper, so I can get red, get blue, get yellow. You know, that sort of thing. Hey, we got somebody, I think. Hey, someone popping in? I heard a beep. Oh, there it is. It's lower. Oh, there's Eric.
Yo.
Hello.
Hey, brother.
Did it almost sounded like a Cecil hello. Hello.
Almost.
Almost.
From me, not from you. How you doing, Eric?
How's it going? Good. How are you?
It's great. I'm painting, and when I'm painting, I'm a very happy person.
There it is.
So I was just talking about my pinup. These pinups that we're doing for Big Road. And Shant, you're doing one too, right?
Yep. It has been my central preoccupation, man.
I've suckered both of you into it.
God, it's a joy.
I wouldn't say sucker. You gave me a good, fun character to work on, and I had a blast. I love it.
You did a really great job.
Tell. Thank you. You can tell when this is what the whole thing, difference between publishers and crowdfunding. You can see the difference. You're doing something that you love, and it shows. It shows in the characters. You wouldn't do it if you just were kind of about it. You know, this is not a meh kind of thing. This is like you really love it, and so the characters are going to be interesting, fun, different, creative. It's just really neat. So it's fun to work on these projects because I'm working for people who I know love the project.
Yeah, there's a lot of passion going around here, and I think that the fans and all of that pick up on all that too, and it gets them excited because we're excited.
Yeah, and it's only starting.
And then we get excited because they're excited.
Yep, snowballs. Perfect. That's exactly what this is. Guys, I'm pinching myself because I never would have even dreamed that this was possible when I was back in comics back in the 80s and stuff. I was just like, it was just like, this is the way it is. It'll always will be this way. And I never would have thought that you could go directly to the readership and they can go to you and say, because I've had, people, even Sean kind of say, Dan, you're doing a comic. Like, it's all there is to it. You have no choice. You don't even.
Yeah. Then you said to me, I'll never forget it. I said, Dan, you're doing a comic, and you said, get off of my lawn, or I'm gonna shoot. And I said, look, I'm just trying to let you know I want the comic. That's what it was.
Yes.
Terrible.
Yes.
Sean's very selfish.
Stop
that
ringing
way.
my
It's just for
doorbell.
him.
I'm trying to sleep.
No, I had a radio over my head. Dan.
No, but I appreciate that because that what it really means is you guys are recognizing you see in me that I really want to do a comic book and you're giving me the proper encouragement to do it, and that's it. It isn't like you don't think I don't want to do it. You know I want to do that. So it's kind of like you're going, Dan. I know you want to do it. Do it. So. So, getting back to these overseas, they're oversized, right? They're not. These are not. What's the actual print size of these babies? For the pinups, Eric?
11 by 17.
11 by 17. So now, how are you going to ship those?
In a big box. I have some ideas. There's I got a book from Adam Lawson several months ago, and it came in this folded protective mailer thing that I think I could utilize very easily. I can also order 12 by 18 boxes and maybe get them custom built in, because I won't need a ton. We've sold a lot of the things, but I don't need to get like 1,000 boxes and do anything crazy like that. So
okay,
but you can order, I can order custom boxes that would fit the 11 by 17. And then on top of that, you can stack 2 books, like flat, 2 comics will fit. Lengthwise, I guess, is the word I'm looking for.
They'll be able to go in that flyer. They'll be able to be printed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did some preliminary practice packaging with some of that stuff. So.
Okay, and now that let's say you're checking out, and you want to bring up your campaign, can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
I can do it if you need me to, Eric. I don't know if you're.
Except I was having trouble sharing the whole screen. How do what configuration do I use for that? Because I got this one that's just me. I got this one with that I'm using StreamYards. I got this one, and I got this one. This one.
There's a single you can click on one. I think there's a single configuration or make. I don't know.
But how do I
That's
make
what
you
you
guys? How do I switch you guys into the center screen, so to speak?
So you got to get rid of what you're sharing in order for us to be all big.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me stop the screen here.
Is that what you mean?
I think he means.
I want to have it so when you guys pop in, we're thinking that
I know
all
how.
small on the side, and then
Bring your artwork back up.
Yeah, if you share it, then it should just automatically switch over.
And then I think you'll switch it over, if that makes sense.
You're talking to 2 guys that don't use StreamYard. We use different.
Yeah. So if you bring up, click on Kor-Drath. I shared Kor-Drath right there. Okay. Oh, awesome. All right. So if you do the side layout, I feel like there's a way to click on yourself and drag yourself over in StreamYard. And I think it switches them. If I remember correctly, I think you can actually just, or
you click on your picture and all that. What are you trying to make big?
Whatever you share.
Okay, well,
so
then
I can share what I present. I can share what I present, but you guys give me something to present. Maybe it'll work.
I have. It's down there.
Oh, okay. I see now.
See?
Oh, there it goes. Ta-da! Okay, that was easy.
Yeah.
I was wondering how to switch things around, but it when you share it, apparently it goes right onto the screen. It's automatically.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, $51,000, 950 things sold, and let's see, we have now. How do you get those prints on this campaign? How do they come with any book, or do you have to get them extra?
They come in this. They are printed in a book. They're a whole collection, and they'll be removable.
I mean, are they add-ons to if you're getting the book? If you're like, how I'm checking out and I get the book, do I have to get this in addition?
So we do have bundles, right? So you can go to the main page and there are bundles that include it. You just click these arrows to the side. You can
Okay, let's see the bundle.
them thrown in towards the end there. The Superfan bundle and the I Want It All bundle. And then, or the best thing about this website is it just, you could use it like a shopping cart and add what you want, a la carte, and pick and choose. You want 3 of one cover, you can add 3, just by the quantity number here. So if you're a big fan of me, like I am, I'm my biggest fan. I want 20, 25 covers. Then you can add that to your cart, and then you can go again, or go to the catalog and you see everything sort of all splayed out, and then just hit add to cart on everything you want, and check out. And I don't want to check out right now because it probably shows my address. So
yeah,
that's how you do it. It's
now
it's like
Shopify,
any other.
Huh?
Yeah.
You're using Shopify to set this up? Is that difficult?
Yeah, actually, it was.
Okay.
I have. It took me a while. A lot of probably 2 weeks of dedicated. I'm getting ready to launch, but a month before then, just sort of tinkering here and there, trying a few different campaign layouts and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of the bomb's about to explode. A lot of work in the background. It's not as easy.
Code.
Upload image and build campaign like it is on Indiegogo. It's a lot involved. And like there's the whole back end stuff. So there's like a lot more analytics, which is great. I mean, I can see a live view of how many people are on the website, how many people have an active shopping cart, how many people are checking out, things like that. It breaks down way more detail in that way. So the business side is a bit more involved in terms of understanding what's happening and where you're it's almost a 50-50 split between mobile and desktop users, which is pretty neat. I don't know what I can show because I don't know what information is there, but
Can you play the trailer for this?
Yeah, I can do that.
Is that on the website?
Yeah, it's always it's at the bottom. I could put it at the top, but I'm trying to draw my book. Let's see.
You think you are free, that your decisions are your own. Tell me honestly, did you really choose this path? Or was it chosen for you? Your father, with every triumph, every failure, was it not his decisions that brought you here? Has his path not sealed your own? Marked out in golden bricks below your very feet.
Cool.
The path is set. Keep your head up. Keep your weapon loaded. Follow the battle brick road.
Cool. BattleBrickRoad.com.
That's me. That's it. That's how we do it.
Yeah. Now, what's this record thing? What? How in the heck did you get that thing made? That looks really
Black
cool.
Magic.
I love how it's a yellow record too.
The Souls of Dead Rock Stars.
Sorry, Eric, got me.
You be careful. That's probably not far from the truth.
Yeah.
You're channeling these guys now, long gone.
Yeah. Well, we had a composer, a synthwave composer goes by the name Bosto, and he's done some other work for other comics creators. He did music for Vaughn. He did music for Deathsworn and a bunch of other guys, and I liked his stuff, and I thought, well, let's try a BattleBrick Road soundtrack, and we gave him prompts for Scarecrow and Tin Man because we thought those are the fun characters that we can go with. And it sort of was all this, it all was everything we wanted to do at once. Like, I want to make a record. I legitimately set out, like, I want to do a record this time. Let's make a record. So I already knew who I wanted to have it do the music. It was just sort of all like everything aligned. I was already looking at record pressing companies and things like that. So it was just, I wanted to do it. So I did it. Ultimately, it was just, it's 2 songs. It's a 45. Not terribly expensive. Obviously you get price breaks the more you print, the more you press. We're doing a very low print run of records. I think 300. It will be the total one. If we ever end up printing, if that sells out, the first 300 will be yellow. Everything after that will be regular black vinyl. But yeah, it was just a goal of mine. Like, I collect vinyl records. Somewhat, I guess you could say. I'm not like if there's an album I want, I'll buy it. Like, I'll legitimately buy it on vinyl, new or old. And
it's a lot of fun. I grew up with this stuff. Yeah, I grew up with with vinyl, of course, and it was a lot of fun to hear that that crackle sound when you're putting on starting it.
I got a new record player because we got the test pressings in. It's been 3 weeks or so now. They're approved and everything's moving forward with that. Should have all those in actually sometime next month. But got the test pressing and got a new record player, and it's got Bluetooth, so I had my headphones hooked up, and you could hear the crackle of the needle on the record as the song.
So this is it's a great collector's item, which is a really neat thing for people to add to their collection. That's what's so fun about this stuff. Again, it's because you love it. It's a passion project. It shows in the quality and everything that people are going to get. It's going to be something that you love, because you wouldn't make it if you didn't love it. So that comes through. It's so much better than the published. This is why crowdfunding is such a better thing than the traditional publishers who don't give a shit, about what they're making. They're just trying to make money. You want to make money, of course, but you want to make money because you love it, and that's the difference. That's the cutting edge. And so I think this is the future of comics, is crowdfunding, because people just it's a direct connection between the reader and that. And the creator, and the reader says, "Make me something," and then you say, "Sure, but I don't have any money. Give me some money."
Yeah,
and they collectively do, and it's such a cool thing, because they get to be right on the ground floor. They really get to decide if it's going to happen. They really, when you get that initial money and you find out whether you can do it or not. So they are really, it's totally interactive. And then now we have this, we're online here, and talking directly to the people you're creating these comic books for, and we're making them for each other too. I mean, I just got the Shane Davis Glorious Rex, and I was like excited to read it because I know Shane, and it's a different kind of an experience when you really know these people personally, and you read them and you go, "Oh, that was fun," and then you could go online and say that was, talk to them directly, say that was an awesome book, So it's really exciting. I know you guys. I mean, you guys are saying, don't you feel inspired when you're talking to everyone? You want to get to work. You talk for a couple hours, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, I'm raring to go and put something together to show everybody else. Show your friends. It's a much more interactive situation. It's far superior. It was so distant in the past. And when I was working in Marvel and stuff, I was like, I send my stuff FedEx. That's it. I pencil it, send it FedEx. I could talk on the phone occasionally, but I didn't have any connection with anybody at all, really. And it kind of, and compared to now, that sucked. You know what I'm saying? So this is much better. Anyways,
that's it's great. It's kind of all I've really known, is just building interaction through fan base, because I've only ever done independent stuff.
Can you scroll on this this website? I'm gonna see just some of the covers and stuff.
Yeah.
Click on something, make it big.
Make it big. Bigger. I can make it really big, and then I have to even scroll even more. So this is cover A. This is my cover with colors by Brett R. Smith. Our
great
heroes lunging into battle.
See,
weapons
these
at the ready.
characters, I would love to. They're all fun to draw, and that makes them fun to read too. I just look at them and go, they're just really cool. I had such a blast working on the lion, character, and
Yeah.
it was great.
Thank you.
Scarecrow.
Yeah,
was
I mean,
cool.
if they're not, that's the best part is I got to create them, so I get to decide what I want to draw in that creation.
Yep.
And they are a whole lot of fun to draw.
And that's going to
I
increase
thought
the chances
Scarecrow.
It'll increase the chances of people wanting to read it, because if you want to draw it,
Hopefully.
they're going to.
Yeah.
You're reacting as a fan. We are fans. We love what we're doing. We love comics, and this is a mailing cover. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah. That's the way mailing goes. Yeah, I just love his exaggerations. Yeah, it's interesting. He's coming from the Liefeld and Jim Lee sort of traditions, but I think he's gone beyond them and is really adding a different kind of a twist. And he's such a good designer. The way he puts things together, I think it's really, really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, he's did he's got the golden touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This one is the random elements one, right? This is a random elements cover.
Yeah.
Every cover, every single cover is different, right?
Every single cover is different. The character's placement, direction, size, all the elements will be different on every version that comes off the press.
That's wild. How did you manage that?
The printer that I use, they have this HP whatever 12 million series or whatever it's called, that has this functionality built in. It's mostly used on like food labels. People will insert, a designer could insert half a dozen different like patterns or designs, and then the algorithm would
give them like PNG files, like kind of with no background. Is that what it is?
Yeah. So every element in this case is on a separate layer, and then within that layer stack, I have full control. Also, it's not that it's randomized. It is to a degree, but also I have the tools to make sure that things are in the right order. So I can layer them in such a way that the stuff that's supposed to be in the background will stay in the background, like smaller bricks that are falling. They're going to stay far back. So
is there any chance of an important element being covered, like the hand all of a sudden covers up the guy's face or something like that?
Yeah, well, the poses that they're in are going to stay. So if it would be somebody else's, I would just kick that one out and not allow it. So I have oversight on everything the way it is. So yeah, as long as it's not too egregious in terms of bad composition or something. But overall, they'll look like this, but just sort of randomized, like on this little animated thing here that we have. Let's see if I can. And that in a new tab.
There's so much work, man. You have put a lot of work into this.
Yeah.
I mean, every aspect of it is extensive.
Well, I love this story. I love this concept. I pour everything I can into it.
Yeah. You've now kind of been hired by Ethan. Might you be doing something of this sort for him?
If he asks me, I'm sure that we could make it work.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Oh, you mean
for now he's probably going to stick with Indiegogo, you think? Or
I think so. It takes a lot of work, and I'm not like a website designer. So a lot of this is just sort of, here's this plugin, here's this theme, this template, and building it towards making my sort of aesthetic fit within what they have. So
yes. So Shopify does that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got those 3 covers, and there's a Roquefort cover in there somewhere, right?
Yeah. So this was the first print run.
Yes.
That we did back in 2020, and we still have quite a few on hand. These dinged and dented ones. We had a printing error with them, where the spot gloss was misaligned by a millimeter or two.
Oh.
At first glance, I went over with Zeb. Zeb's my co-creator. He's the writer and co-creator of it, and my wife. We were like going through all these books. I'm like, it's all bad. Look at all these. They're all off. and they're both like, no, it's fine, nobody will care. I'm like, I care, so we're kicking them out. The good thing is they actually
did your printer reprint them for free? Or
yeah, they reprinted them for free, and we got the ones that were bad. So
yeah,
it was a win-win for us because I can still sell them at a discount, and then the fans get when they back, they got the nice one. So for $20 you can get this Roquefort cover or my original cover as well. And these are still first edition printings. They're still in that first initial print run.
Yeah, that's a great cover. I love that one. That's the cover I have.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. It's so those are there as well.
That Roquefort cover though, Kenneth, he colored it himself. Did he color it himself? Yeah,
he did everything himself. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's one thing about his art. It's very important that part of his art is color. So I'm not surprised he did that.
Yeah. I mean,
you ever see him do his sketchbooks? His sketchbooks are just so cool.
He's the kind of artist that makes you want to give up. He's that guy.
He inspires me. I'm like, wow, I just love it. I get excited when I see the colors that he uses and stuff. But yeah.
Depends on the mood you're in that day. Some days I'm like, I quit. I can't do it anymore.
I don't know, man. I love Kenneth, and I think his work is inspiring. But I think I showed you Dean Cornwell earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He's the kind of artist that makes you want to just quit the game. Like Dean, Alphonse Mucha for me too. I look at Alphonse Mucha, and it's so funny. He's such a big influence on me. He is my biggest influence on everything I do now. So much so that when people ask me who my influences are, I forget to say him. Because to me, it's like saying, so Shanth, what are you doing today? And forgetting to say, well, I'm going to breathe. I'm going to be influenced by Mucha. That's on the list. It's on the docket, man. God, yeah. But this is the thing that I love about what Kenneth is doing, what you're doing, what Andy is doing with Kor-Drath, and what is going on.
Sorry. I just want to. That was a Kelsey cover there. Back that last one.
Yeah, yes. That was Kelsey Shannon. Yep.
Fantastic cover. Totally dynamic.
And that's volume 1. Yeah.
Oh, this is the first comic?
Yeah, this is the reprint version of volume 1.
Look at the dynamism. How you guys say that? Dynamism.
I'm just going to let you hang on that one.
Yeah, don't ask me, dude.
It's dynamic. How's that?
Yeah.
That's right. It's dynamicide. I don't know. I can't do it.
Dynamification.
That's right.
That sounds blasphemous.
That's right. And he's doing a book with Mike Barron, the Nexus book with Mike Barron. So happy birthday again. It's a day late to Mike Barron, 75 years
75, young. Man. Dude.
Still crushing it.
Yeah. Did you see that interview of him that I put up, the old one?
Oh, my gosh.
The old wild to see him so young.
Awesome.
It's crazy.
Love it. Yeah, that's what people are going to be saying about all these videos, Dan. Look at those guys. Those kids. They were young then.
Yeah, well, I'm not so young now. So.
Well, man, I'm not either, man. But I tell you, it's scary to think.
You're just a kid. Talk to me when you start pushing 60. When you're pushing 60, then you can complain, you know?
Well, my doctor says to me that I have the interior of a much older man.
Oh,
great. That doesn't sound very good.
That was during your that was during your prostate exam.
Yeah. Well, I thought you were going to say autopsy, so I'm glad you landed it there.
The important thing about the prostate exam is just to make sure your doctor doesn't have both hands on your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. That's good. Good advice.
It's got to be 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's when you got to worry. You know, you do one finger, all right. One hand on your shoulders, okay. Two hands on your shoulders, not good.
Cause for concern. But how bad would you feel if you turned around and he had like a secret third arm that he was self-conscious about? Then you'd be the jerk, Dan. And then you'd feel terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, don't make him feel any worse about it. Or it's Quado.
Whoa!
From Total Recall. Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see all this stuff because, you were talking about muddy colors and painting barbarians. And, with Battle Brick Road, you've got all these different genres coming together that we're working on. And I don't know, I feel like pulp, horror, action, adventure, and the indie scene is the mainstream now. And that is so great.
I think so
so
too.
great for comics.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys, I just put a post up the other day and said, I thought my comic book career was over. And then a man named Ethan Van Sciver showed me that it didn't need to be that way. When he did it, when he broke, when he did the Cyberfrog thing, I remember, you guys remember that, like that came out. I was just like, holy shit. It's a new ball game. And you don't have to be subjected to a totalitarian regime any longer. You can be an American independent, a landowner, and you can sell your goods, create your goods without any government overseen body, Marvel Comics or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Ethan, during those times, the thing I remember the most about those times was how hard that stuff was on Ethan. There were streams where you could tell. I mean, he had a young baby girl. He was newly married, and these people wrecked his life. And some of those streams, if people want to know, because right now it's easy to look at all the stuff. Comicsgate, and I was paraphrasing Dana White, which is one of my weirder quotes, but it's true. Comicsgate is not a career as much as it is an opportunity. It's a massive opportunity. And the thing for me about it is that Ethan and John, the cancellation stuff they went through and the stuff that all of us, have seen them do, that's where the connection with the audience is. This was not a guarantee. Ethan worked so hard to get, to break the static friction in this scene and build something that has sustained this long. And I think that's the connection that he has with the audience in Comicsgate and with all of us, at least from my experience as a fellow creator. It's gratitude doesn't even cover what I have for Comicsgate. Nothing but gratitude for Comicsgate and everything that's happened. Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm doing comics again after 27 years of not doing comics, and it's so cool. I thought it was done, and there's no chance. There's no money in it. I can't make money from that's changing. So there's a possibility now. So it's a lot of fun. But I was I didn't know about Ethan at all, and I just wasn't following comics, and so I didn't know about Flash or any of that, Rebirth or any of that stuff. I was just in part of this Comicsgate Facebook group, a private Facebook group, and that was growing. And Ethan came in, and everyone's saying they're all walking into this group like the Walking Wounded and telling their horror stories of just mentioning that you voted for George Bush and just getting wiped out by that. And so I remember Ethan coming into this group, and he had just had his falling out with DC Comics, and he was really upset. He's like, what am I going to do, guys? And I gave him the worst advice possible. I said, just keep your head down, don't make any waves, just you got to protect your family, all that kind of stuff, all the stuff that he didn't do. Thank goodness, you know what I'm saying? In other words, my advice to him was be a coward, like I do,
Well,
and
Eric knows that when I give Eric advice, I once said, not even advice, but when we were talking one time, I said, the only reason I ever feel comfortable giving art advice or any advice to anybody is because I know they're strong enough to not take it if it's not right for them. And that's what's great about giving advice to people who know their own mind. It just becomes something they factor into it, and we've seen.
Well, the
so
thing is,
much
at the time when I said that to him, that was all. I didn't know about crowdfunding. I didn't know there was that option. So with that option not in existence, that was actually the best advice. Just gotta watch. You just pay it. Keep your head down and just don't make any waves and just. And that's what it must be like. Oh gosh, for these poor people who are conservatives at Disney and animation, all these stuff where they got in there. They just love comics, but they're just ordinary Americans. They don't want to do all kinds of stupid stuff. They want to just do fun, interesting things that they liked when they were younger. And now all of a sudden they're stuck with this better watch what you say thing, you know. That sucks.
Weird.
You know? So I'm so happy to not have to be worried about that anymore. Like, oh, good. I don't have to, you know, oops, I'm pro-life. Oh, you don't, you know, we're not going to hire him. Like, you know, like screw that, you know. I want to say it. If I'm pro-life, I want to say it. I'm pro-life, you know. It's
the
like,
thing that was crazy about all of this, I didn't know Ethan either from comics. I knew Ethan as the fellow Star Wars fan, same age basically as me, demographic anyway. But I was coming at this stuff from Jordan Peterson because I was a associate professor. I was teaching visual arts college at 2 visual arts colleges.
So you saw him because of his Jordan Peterson illustrations in the book?
No, that was the weirdest thing. I saw him because of Star Wars. I met a bunch of YouTubers and guys I'm still friends with who aren't even in Comicsgate because of the Star Wars disaster. And then I went, he's a comic book artist. And wow. And then all of a sudden, Jordan Peterson appears on his stream in what many have dubbed the hostage video. I don't disagree. But it's great. And I said, oh my God, this guy illustrated Jordan Peterson. Like, this is like craziness, right? So I see him doing that. But then I started thinking to myself, you know, there's no doubt in my mind because I can't tolerate some of these beliefs of racial guilt for white people or hating people because they're religious. Like, I can't play any role in that. So I started building, and I'd already started building a fan base on Instagram. I think at its height, it got to like 38,000. It's like 10,000 less than that now. But I got it up there and I said, I'm going to try to launch an art book, not even as a part of Comicsgate, and see if it funds. And I funded 2 art books. And then I wrote Ethan a letter and basically said, I went out on the Indiegogo limb because of you. That's why I did this. And that's how we kind of met. That was our intro.
Right.
You know, and then I started thinking maybe I should do a comic.
Yep.
You know, maybe I should do this. It's wild.
You know what I like too, Jonathan, your approach, and this is sort of my approach too, is and people make this mistake all the time. They come into CG and they're looking for Ethan to do something for them. And I think that's the wrong attitude. Because I noticed with you didn't make any demands on, you know, you could have, did a lot of stuff for him, but you didn't say, because I did this, you should back, you know, my book. You were steadfast and you just did your book, and if he helps you, he helps you. If he doesn't help you, he helps you. He doesn't help. He doesn't have to help anybody, but everyone feels like obligated. Like, and that's what I notice a lot of resentment towards Ethan right now, and it seems to be people who are trying to get their books backed. So, and you know, Ethan can't support everybody's book. It's not that easy to get a book sold and stuff. So, it just it's very frustrating to see that going on. Because sometimes I think that he has no choice. He's in a situation where if he pushes books that aren't professional, because I think initially when he had his first success with Cyberfrog, he was so overwhelmed with gratitude that he was like, I'll support if you back me, I'll back you. You supported my book, I'll support yours. But what happened was people started to say, hey, these Comicsgate books are not that professional. They're not that great. And so, you know, he didn't have much of a choice. He had to kind of like, you know, or they're not fulfilling at all. So in some cases, so he had to sort of pick professionals, and that's I think where the Comicsgate Kings thing grew, and then a lot of resentment happened there because people were sort of excluded from that who weren't, you know, working professionals. So it's difficult. How do you just, you know, he's trying to help. I mean, I feel like he's under no obligation to help anybody. I've never seen it before.
He's really
make a.
Yeah,
I never seen anyone make a big success and then turn around and help other people. I've never seen that before ever in my career, you know.
Yeah.
So it's extraordinary
generous.
that he's doing that. Pardon me?
Yeah. No, I said he's incredibly generous, and the other thing I'd say about all this is, it's so weird to think about having a strategy when I came in here. Maybe it's a teaching thing, and Eric knows me pretty well. This is just how I am. If I see somebody. I know. I'm sorry, Eric. And by the way, those photos were meant to go to somebody else. I apologize. But the thing is that,
He didn't hear me complain.
when I see a fellow dad and Star Wars fan having his life wrecked, I've felt the same way about and have helped people that most people don't even know about. You know what I mean? Like I do that with strangers. If I see somebody like having trouble somewhere, I'm like, oh, can I, get some help? He was getting throttled from all sides. And so I saw a fellow Star Wars fan being pummeled, and, an artist too, but a dad was a big factor for me. And so I always kind of feel as though the biggest gift that Ethan really, I mean, there's so many now at this point, it's kind of strange, but one of the biggest things he gave me was hey, I should probably build something I own for when the mob comes for me, and not just think, oh, this could never happen to me. And I should probably treat people who get ambushed like that the way I would hope somebody, because when people you don't even know attack you, I think sometimes it can be very uplifting when people you don't even know help you. It's actually the kind of the antidote to that for me anyway.
Sure.
Is to have kindness of strangers,
Absolutely. Yep.
All right, that's enough. Let's say all the bad things about Ethan. That's enough nice stuff.
Yeah, let's
see,
him. He's
let's see, his singing isn't the greatest.
I disagree there. Okay, it's lovely. No, but yeah, it's. I will say,
but it's better than my hair. Although I shouldn't say anything because it's better than mine.
Man,
you can't even do one simple thing.
I know.
Asking you to tear the man down. You got to tear yourself down.
Well, you know what? I am really, I'm very grateful. Like and I'm actually
dude.
I'm pissed actually, to tell you the truth, at when I see the attacks, the constant attacks, and just like it gets me kind of steamed, and so I won't give these guys any ammo, nothing, And
gratitude is a wildly effective life strategy. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's I mean, it's God, I wish Eric would just stop. No, no, but Eric and I've been having so much fun with this dude. But Eric knows exactly what I mean. It's like I remember I don't know, man. I don't ever take anything for granted that I should just have all these things. So when I'm hand packing up these books, every single I write thank you, Shanth, on each one, like a little note. Thank you from Shanth, not thank you to me. That'd be creepy. But
mine said screw you.
No, yours actually, I think, had a little special notes. You dorks.
I got it right. I got it up behind me on the wall.
I know. You know how I feel, man. And but I just was thinking to myself, I have to write thank you on every single one of these because I'm so damn grateful that this book exists. It's amazing.
That's what I'm talking about. That personal connection. It's totally a different story for the creators and for the readers. They both are like, just it's such a cool thing, and this is just going to grow because it's such a winning formula.
Yeah, I mean,
it should grow. I mean, we're in a bit of I would say a slump right now, and I think that there's a lot of factors because of that. But I do think it's temporary. The slump that is not Comicsgate.
We're under attack right now from a lot of these anti-crowdfunding people that are out there and
there's
I have
that.
To say that Eric and Yellow Flash have sowed a lot of division between and their whole thing with the going after the the crowdfunders saying they don't know what they're doing, all that stuff, and just trying to say waiting for books is bad and stuff like that. But that's what crowdfunding is. So it's kind of
different. It's a different model.
So Ethan is forced to fight back against these guys, and all of a sudden everyone's saying, "Oh, we don't like the fighting." Well, you got to defend yourself. You got to defend your business model. And he does it in a very colorful way. and a lot
Sure.
that some people don't like, and I think it's funny, but other people that rubs them the wrong way. So I think the readership is been split. Like I said, the people that sort of the disgruntled people who didn't get their books back, they wanted, thought they deserved that, and hasn't happened for them, and so they're kind of going after them, and then the SJWs, and so that they can be kind of noisy, and they can kind of turn people off, from that with their negative press, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that's what I think some of the
yeah.
slump is right now. They're doing damage, but I don't think you can keep it down because it's, like I said, such a great model. It's such a fun thing. Even when you think about like I've said this before too. We have two products today now, not just one, and that is a YouTube show like we're doing now. This is actually a product. It's a talk show, and you look at someone like Cecil, he's got the when you buy his comic book, you're not really buying the comic book. You're paying for his comedy show. He's a funny guy, and you buy it because you like the show, and that's okay. So some people are buying it because they want the comic book. Some people are buying these comic books because they like the show. Cecil will go away if you don't support him, but you're getting hours of comedy entertainment.
Is that what it's going to take?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now I know.
No, I'm saying that there's a couple products today that you can just be a comic book creator, you can just be a YouTuber, and you can be both. And it's best if you're both, because that's good for sales. But there's nothing wrong with buying a comic book because you just like you think the guy's funny, and you want to. And when I read his comic, it was completely crazy and it's fun, So it wasn't like the greatest work of art ever. It was just funny, So that's okay. So there's a lot of different things that are happening now. This is a changing landscape.
And there's so many. I think there's another big audiences of people out there. Like we're fortunate to have this be on a lot of people's radar right now. But the other thing is that I was looking at channels like the Y Files, which is exploration and debunking of conspiracy theories. Oh, it's so cool. I was looking at one of my favorite channels on YouTube, the Grim Life Collective, just interviewed Tom Holland, the writer, director of Child's Play, and the writer of Psycho 2, who got Anthony Perkins to come back. These things, there are these huge audiences. And I think that that right now we've got an amazing audience of folks who have supported us, who have got this going, and who are our ride or die, backers who just they interact with us. They're so incredibly supportive, and they're kind of our ambassadors. And when I see these other channels, when I go out, I was thinking about the whole, because I've worked a bunch of different kinds of jobs, and I was thinking about the whole idea of how when people talk about how you treat creators or how you treat customers or how you treat this, I think it just kind of comes down to actually how you treat people and how you treat strangers, because I don't have a different setting for when I'm ordering food at McDonald's or I'm ordering food at a fancy restaurant. I don't see the point of, I don't go out of my way to be rude or disrespectful to anybody. So for me, it's the consistency of making artwork and showing up. It's tough to do. It's tough to grind through a comic, but I think the audience is like I said about Nosfero, the people who backed Nosfero, I love you. You are maniacs. You were pitched a fully painted comic book in a world where you had no certainty it would ever get done. And so now they've given me the opportunity to go, okay, it's done. Here's a second chance. But this is a rare crowd. This audience they're special, man. They're amazing. I think about it all the time. So now it's like, here's the product for people on the outside. They can go, oh, wow, now I can get this now. So this is the stuff that we're building, and it's exciting, man. Exciting times.
There's a lot of readers that are like us, where they would love the comic books when they were kids, and they said, "What the freaking heck happened?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so they're listening to us, and then they're going, "Well, these guys agree with us. There's something wrong with what's going on out there, and let's give them a shot and see what they do."
I think that sums up a lot of people, especially in the early days. I think that sums up a lot of early CG fans and creators. But regardless, I have to go because my wife's almost home and we're going to be having dinner soon. So,
Oh my gosh. Well, up to the family, brother. Have a great night, man.
Okay.
thank you
Eric.
so much, Dan. We'll have to show off your artwork in full.
Yeah, when do you want to
sometime
reveal
soon.
that? Let me know. I was thinking of Comics Gay Kings, but then Mike had Baron had his birthday and stuff, and
Yeah, what's up with that? Anyways, we'll really
he
reveal it.
upstaged you by being 75,
He did.
dude. That's a
Yeah.
how dare you be 75? You know the hell.
How dare he? All right, folks, have a good one. Thanks for
Yep.
the link. And
See you, man.
happy
Thanks.
painting.
Take care, brother.
Later.
Yeah. But I wanted to also say I've got Kor-Drath called up right here, Dan, if you want to make it full screen, this campaign. So if you want to share that, just so we can take a look at it and I can hit refresh and see where it's at. Hopefully I've got the right window here. All right. Is this it? Should be down below, hopefully. Oh, God, unless I did it wrong.
No, here it is.
All right. Here we are, guys. So if you guys are wondering what that breathtaking, beautiful sketch that's being worked on right now by Dan, the Flawless Lawless, is for, it is for Kor-Drath, Andy Smith, Dennis Turner, amazing artist, and personally for me, ties directly into my start of my career. Kor-Drath is sword and sorcery and barbarians and action. 64-page graphic novel. This is the sequel. You can also get book 1 on this campaign, which is a short story.
That's Andy Smith's art colored by me. So I colored that.
That's right.
I painted that cover.
That's our man,
painted
Dan.
So I you should see the black and white. It's
Let me zoom here.
It's kind of interesting. I had the interesting thing is like, let's say with fantasy, you have so much you can do. So I had a lot of choices, a lot of different directions I got to take this in. I could have taken it in. I think I like my solution.
I like your solution.
So
for sure. Yeah. I mean, and it's such a bold book, and it leans into all of the stuff that Andy loves, and now all of the kindred spirits, right, coming together when you're doing, look, I mean, guys, look at these beautiful, haunting, painterly images that we're talking about here.
Yeah,
I mean,
fantasy this is now what you can do with fantasy now. It's so much more interesting. The colors
100%
are rich and earth tones and all that kind of stuff. It's fantastic,
Yeah, absolutely.
And then everyone seems to like this villain, Lilith. She looks mischievous and fun, and that, which is that was what was so fun about that Bud Root 4-pager that was that I colored in the first issue. She's this mischievous character, but sort of likable. She's evil, but you kind of like her too.
Yep.
She's a very
I gotta address
endearing character.
Something from Mike D, my man Mike D in the chat. 100%, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Michael is saying, fortunately for me, when it comes to my money, I get to survey the landscape for myself and draw my own conclusions. 100%. Yep. We would not have it any other way. But yeah, I mean, what you said about the fantasy genre, look at this is madness.
Yeah, look at the rain coming down and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
brutal.
You can do that. You can do that kind of stuff in Photoshop. Now, before you'd have to, get out your razor blade and try to make some
my Lord,
your art and stuff.
Can you imagine? Like, we are, we're being I don't know how to describe it. The technology, we are like Bob Ross didn't get to screen out in this level of resolution, Dan. This is madness. Let me go up to the top too to refresh real quick. So yeah, I want to definitely see that number move if we can. We are at 669, and I know you guys love that number. I'm not gonna say a word about it, but
it's because last one did 100 and 100,000, and so this one's got some work to do. But it's a great character. He's Conan, but he's got this hot chick companion, and It's
Look at that
it's,
painterly work you're doing with Andy, dude. It's so good.
look at that boob shine I put on it. Right? Do you see that?
I wasn't gonna say it. Listen, why would you think
Little
that's
sweat
what I'm
thing going
looking
on
at,
there.
Dan? Oh wait.
Yeah. I'm dedicated. It took me like an hour to do that boob shine.
Yeah,
No,
well, that's
wait,
the difference between us.
it took me 10 minutes to do that boot shine. Then I was really
Yeah.
interested, then I lost interest.
Yeah, the difference between us is you're dedicated and I'm committed. Slightly different.
Okay.
Coming to you live from this institution that I'm in.
All right.
But it's
that sounds like most artists.
this is right.
What a cool retro cover.
Retro.
Oh my gosh. Get that, man. Who wouldn't want
Hell yeah.
that, man? Oh, it's so cool. Hey, anybody who sees these campaigns and you share them out online and share them on Twitter, man, we really appreciate it. That's how these things grow. It's word of mouth. You take a look at this stuff and say, hey, have you seen this? This is, get on those message boards and say, look at the quality here. This is not happening at Marvel and DC. I mean, this coloring that I did on that Bud Roots drawing here. I mean, this is several days of work, really. If
it wasn't, I would be panicked because it's. I mean, I would hang it up because this is gorgeous, man. It's almost got an oil painting. Photoshop and Painter, all those tools that we have right now, not Illustrator, not the vector-based stuff. They really are most analogous to oils. The way you can push paint around and glaze and
layers,
then do hard edges. Oh man, is it cool!
Yep,
crushing it, dude. This is beautiful.
It's like I can do an oil painting in a day almost. It's like incredible, So.
Gosh, geez, Bud Root.
Yeah, there's the line art. See, now it's you look at that. It's like it's so cool in and of itself. Now this is my fear, my danger when I get a Bud Root piece of artwork is like I have to be careful I don't overpower it. And if you look at what I did, it does overpower it a little bit, and you lose some of that nice feel, that the caricature and the character of his stuff. So, I think I did a fine job on it, but I am a little concerned that I lost it. But the good thing is Andy will print those. He'll print the line art as is too. You know what I'm saying? He'll print it. He'll he'll give you both, and you have the option to have both, so you can buy both. So you enjoy
options. But let me just say this, Dan Man. This is Dan Man. Oh, that's got to be a nickname too. I've got a lot of nicknames for you right now. I've got Gross Point Dank. Of course, the chat came up with Flawless, Dan Lawless. I love that one. Had to put that in your intro for Comicsgate Kings. But this is something I want people to understand, right? When I'm talking about work and I'm being enthusiastic and I'm being effusive in the way that I'm effusive about great artwork, it's because I have been starved of good artwork. I am an artist. If you look at my site and you look at my 5 years of streaming and my 47 years of life, art is so important to me that I can't help but be excited and crack up. This is what I'm like off stream. Like when I'm talking to my family, when I'm talking with Eric, I'm like, isn't this cool? Isn't this great? Because maybe you can fake this stuff every now and again, but you can't fake it for your entire life. That's what I'll tell you. And I look at this and I go, so I have the option of Bud Root's inks and then you painting into those and making this so volumetric and gorgeous with the color.
Yeah, isn't it interesting that the combination of two different artists? I mean, we're similar in some ways, but we're adding things to each other. I'm really, taking it and running it in my direction. Fortunately, he seems to like it. So, but I'm a little concerned sometimes with it because I can overpower it. But hey, Art of Royals here. Have you seen Did you see that Cyberfrog that was put up by Roy? Oh my gosh! I was like, this guy is getting good, like fast. He's like, holy shit.
Man.
It's like this stuff is, and he did a Salamandrite, which was fantastic. So yeah.
And you use Photoshop, right? Sleeping Psychopathy asked what you use for colors.
Yeah, it's all Photoshop, and it's
awesome.
My just like what I'm working on now. Just the soft round brushes.
Gosh, dude.
So
look at this campaign, guys. I mean, Andy, and I love Andy's stuff. Andy's stuff is, again, the best way I can put it is, and this is nuts. When I talk about people are going, this doesn't even seem real. Dan lived in my we both lived in the same neighborhood when we were kids. Andy Smith did the artwork that I saw at the Baltimore. It was the Baltimore Diamond Comics Distribution convention. And I walked up to this booth by these people, First Light Comics, doing a book called Threshers. And I said, the cover of this book is so good. You guys should hire me to emulate that on the interior to make the characters look more on model of what that cover does. And Andy Smith did the cover. That is how small of a world this is. I was 17 and I'm 47 now. Like that is, soon to be 48. But I mean, basically around the same time. It's nuts, man. And so I get a big smile on my face when I did the intro for his new King's intro, or when I'm looking at this stuff. You guys make me excited to get up in the morning and work my butt off.
Yeah.
Same.
Push yourself, push yourself to that next level. Yeah. Oh, is this a fake ad? What's the ad for? This stuff is great too. Again, you can just see the love that these people have in their work, and it's coming through. Fun stuff. They're having a blast, and so people support these comics, encourage and send the links out and tell everybody about it, because this is what you want to support is people who are truly doing the comic books that deserve to be made, that most people will really like if they got a chance to see it. It's just the main thing is that's the real challenge, getting your work. And there's another thing I colored that for Doom.
Dang.
Pin up there.
Which one? This one right here, right?
Yeah, that blue one. Yeah.
Wait, which one? Yeah, dude.
That one right there.
Just making sure. Yeah, I love what you did. Let me just zoom in on the. Make
it cold. He said,
make
it cold.
Danny boy. Sorry, go ahead.
The pipes.
Yeah, those are some pipes. Amen. And that's just incredible, man. But you know what I love? I love seeing this stuff too. This is also a time machine, and I know that Dennis, we were talking about role playing games. A lot of my friends when I was growing up in Tennessee, when we moved there, I was, they were into Dungeons and Dragons or Warhammer 40K. So I was drawing their characters, and that's sort of how we met and became friends. So there's so much about this book and what they're doing with it. Oh, look at that too, man. That is it right there. I love
seeing the rough stuff, man. It's just like, that's the core.
The core of Kor-Drath. Yeah. That's right.
That's right.
Beautiful stuff, man. So yeah, guys, this is beautiful. And Dan, again, if you guys, I know most of you guys have probably got it, but if you missed Kor-Drath, The Reckoning, and you didn't see the short story that Dan did with Bud Root, man, it's so cool. Actually, what am I saying? I mean, at some point I'll have to share.
Well, scroll down. Can you scroll up or whatever on the side? Can you get the 1 and 2? Can you get both issues?
I'm sure. Let me check.
Let's see where the.
Oh shoot! Do I have to do
Volume
that?
2 cover A.
Might be an add-on. Volume 2. It's the second one. Bud Root line art cover, black and white edition. It could be an add-on, but I'm not sure. Let me see. Here we go. 1 and 2.
There you go. 1 and 2, guys.
Dang.
You get that. Is he got the? See, there's that Bud Root art that I colored that for the 4-page with the girl Lilith, which is just it turned out great. I actually colored this on my YouTube channel. If you guys want to find that, looking through my YouTube, coloring Kor-Drath and the characters Lilith, and so you can actually see that up close and see how I did it in Photoshop. If people are asking about what do I use, well, check out all my tutorials here, and I got a lot of stuff here that's covers a lot of subjects that are not being taught very often, are they, Shant, right?
No, and Salty's on top of it, though. Salty was quick on the draw with Dan uses Photoshop. I mean, people have been in these streams.
Hey,
and Marcus, of course, my man Marcus is talking about bud inking with microns. That's what I mean.
Encyclopedia Marcus.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, right? I mean, that's what we love. We all hang out, and it's like we're finding our people who are passionate about the materials, So great, man. You guys are the best. Being from Tennessee is like being from mysterious distant planet, Old Knox. Oh, you're an Old Knoxville kid. No kidding, man. Yeah, I went to up to UTK for a football game one time because I grew up in Chattanooga, and I'll tell you, Michael, what people don't know about and I've of course been to Knoxville proper. What people don't know about UTK is that college is like a city. It's probably bigger than the state of Rhode Island. I mean, excuse me, it's massive. But yeah, Tennessee boy here, visited the Jack Daniels distillery when I was a kid, all of it. See Rock City. That's my youth. Dang, look at this stuff, man.
Yep.
Head sketches. Beautiful, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, get yourself
Classic
Andy
comics
Smith
is what it really is. Classic comics.
Yep.
He's got. I think he has influences of Bart Sears, and of course he went to Andy Kubert's how to draw comic school, whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Andy Kubert School, and so he's an experienced artist.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, that was so much. I loved coloring that. It was so much fun. And that background is all me. Like those clouds, there was nothing there, so I put that in. And so there's a lot of me in that particular picture.
There's some beautiful Wyeth-like clouds to me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Illustrator.
This is why we got to do a show featuring some of these artists. And that one book you just sent me, wait, let me see what it was here.
Oh, the Wyeth, the King Arthur. Yeah, the Arthurian.
Yeah,
No, Dan, I don't think us doing a show where we talk about art, paint, and shoot the bull would work. We've just been doing it for the last hour and 40. But yeah.
Although actually,
Marcus,
talking to illustration,
yeah.
is talking illustration nerdy? I don't know if it's nerdy exactly.
Well, I will tell you, Marcus, that's
autistic.
right. Because I'm certainly, I certainly fit that. I watch HD Trains on Blu-ray, so I'm pretty much, yeah, that's where I'm living. But
we'll
Marcus,
did you
did
you ever see The Office? They had the Finer Things Club episode where.
Oh yeah.
We'll have our tea and teaspoons and trays and saucers. Oh, we're going to talk about the fine arts today of comic art.
Yeah. I mean, and Marcus what was so cool is Marcus was going, I don't know what the convention was. Marcus probably remembers, but I remember when he was in the chat and he's like, I'm going to go see Bud Root. Cause I had just gotten the Bud Root art book that Andy had recommended and reviewed. And then I showed it on stream and said, this is mind bending. And Marcus goes, oh my God, I'm going to see both of those guys at a convention. I'll pass on the positive words to Bud. And I mean, I tell you, it's the connections, and just with good people who just want to talk about comics and art and it's, you don't have to like everything and everyone in any kind of space, but I think there's somebody and something for everybody in this space. And that's what is a real blessing, man.
Are you doing some conventions?
I might go. I want to take it because they were talking about the Baltimore Comic Con.
Yeah, are you far from that?
September. I'm not too far. I'm in Rhode Island, but they were. But when they were talking about that, part of me was thinking, it's in mid-September. I wonder if there's a way for me and my wife to go and just to get out and take a trip down there, because it's like a 45-minute flight. Like it's practically a commuter flight.
Yeah.
You can get great deals on it. So. It might be something, because we've been to Baltimore for conventions before, and it's a good town. There's a lot of fun things to do there. So I was thinking about that.
I missed that other meetup. I wanted to go to Garden State, and I almost swung it, but because we have some friends in New Jersey, but they just weren't around, and like, oh shoot, and so that was kind of the something for my wife to do, to go. Well, I'm at the convention. She could go hang out with them a little bit, and then maybe see them later. But yeah, I really, man, those guys are all sitting around drinking cigars and stuff. Like, yeah, that looks like fun. To meet people in person. Like when I met Billy Tucci. Oh my gosh, Billy Tucci. He's so freaking fun. That guy's, he's everything you see online. That is what he is in person. He's a walking party. And he's just a good guy. Just a really, really nice person. Of course, and John was an interesting person to me. The funny thing about John is, he kind of comes off as kind of tough and rough. And but when you see him in person, he's very mild mannered, and he's soft spoken, and he's just a gentle giant kind of guy. He's really easygoing. Not in any way, because people, I think they're a little afraid of him or something. Like, don't be. He's very approachable, completely pleasant, and I really spend time with him is a lot of fun. So
Yeah,
And that's
John
what I
makes
really,
me think of
just
the.
hanging out was fun. He
Yeah, he
brought me a
makes me
pickle
think of the
shot
drill
too.
sergeant from Saturday Night Live who goes, "I am not your friend. If you put your arm around me, I will rip it off, but with love."
Yeah,
With love.
exactly. It's funny because when he gets
Oh, man.
online, he's so tough. He just, he's like, he just seems to come across as kind of, I'm not sure mean is the right word, but he's definitely more aggressive or something.
He's great to work
So
for too. I mean, when I was doing logo stuff with him, John's great because John doesn't mince words. What you
yep,
see is what you get. If you want something a certain way, he'll let you know. And that gives you a
super
lot
professional,
more.
very professional.
Super professional dude. Super professional dude. And I actually, of course, I didn't know anybody in Comicsgate in terms of, well, I mean, I knew Andy Smith, of Andy Smith, of course. But the thing that was interesting is I backed my first mail-in book because he was the only person I'd ever seen who was like, a fan of Rob Liefeld stuff in this space. And I was like, oh, I got to support him based on that. And of course, now I've seen his work and everything. It's awesome. It's because it's what I like is that whatever you're into, and this was what was so great about the comic book shops, right? And guys, and Dan, call your artwork up. So many people are here to see you work, and
Oh,
I want to share the campaign, but that your artwork is also great promotion for Kor-Drath. So I don't want to.
alrighty, sir. You convinced me.
Oh, so good, dude.
See, now look at
So
here. We have this guy's pretty pink. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So what do we, that's more pink than I want, right? Because you don't really want pink for flesh, don't. So here I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow, and I'm warming that baby up. Just a little overtones of yellows. And some now that you're getting more of the flesh tone. And I could probably grab a little bit of blue. We were talking about just using yellow, blue, and red, and see how I just add a little bit of blue to that baby, and all of a sudden it browns it a little bit.
gorgeous.
And there goes that pink, that sort of unpleasant pink. And that's painting, that using just the three colors.
I think that's one of the things you show on your channel that is really great because I do something similar, which is putting down colors to grab from so that things don't get too chalky, and you can do it with glazes and build up better, so you can create literally the tubes of paint you want to be working from, so you can always go back and make a base.
Yeah,
So
it's so
good,
cool,
dude.
isn't it? Knock back these eyes a bit. A little bit of black. So he's getting there. See, I just keep playing with it. Like maybe add a little more, until it kind of looks right. His places where like the where the skin is bug, like his brow and stuff. That can get a little bit. You notice when you squeeze skin, it kind of gets a little bit white, squeezing the blood out of it, and that you can kind of get that. I'm thinking about that when I'm putting these colors down.
So did you pick this up from individual study, or do you have a teacher at any point who was an influence on you in terms of painting, who said, these are some tricks, or was it all industry learned?
No, just looking at Frazetta stuff and painted stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, just studying the
That's
masters. Studying these guys. They did all the work. They laid the groundwork. I'm just going there. And it's kind of like, okay. And that's what traditionally that's what you did in art. You would work under a master until you've mastered it. Not that I'm a master, but I've gotten to the point where I'm professional enough to do professional work. So,
Well, nobody ever really. I mean, I think if you find yourself thinking that you've mastered everything, that's the one way to know that you're not on the right path, because I mean, even, my mentor, and I say this just because I cannot possibly repay this man for everything he contributed to me as an artist. But Brian
You don't have to gush
Stelfreeze,
it. You don't have to suck up to be on my channel.
yeah, Dan was the guy. He's the wind beneath my wings. But when Brian Stelfreeze was talking to me about all of this stuff, he said to me one time, he was such a humble, amazing example and a genius. He would say, the better I get, the more I realize the masters were better than I thought. Like they don't get easier, they become more brilliant. And I thought, wow, this he gets it. Like that's why he's so great. That's why he's such a master at what he does.
Yeah, the first thing is recognizing that you suck, and then how do you go from there, right?
Yeah.
That's a problem. You ever come across people that are just not any good, and you're like, do you realize you're not that, that kind of thing? Like, oh, well, they don't.
As a teacher,
they can't see it. Their mom told them they're good and all that sort of thing, and then, like, everyone that meets them tells them they're good. It's like, not that good.
It's weird. When I was a teacher, I would see people who were more had more ability, or seemed like they were stronger than certain other people in a classroom. And the thing that I learned that was interesting was that the folks who knew how to learn, they always had the advantage. They would always pass talent. And like, if you have no talent, like, period, you have to have talent to create. There's no getting around it. But what you do with it is everything. You have the ability to finish projects and the ability to, produce artwork. All of us have had that experience. And I think that students, I'm always very slow to write anybody off or to think somebody's the finished article. That's kind of the responsibility I always felt, is that.
Another thing too is I really, as I get older too, I've learned to appreciate art I did not initially appreciate. I mean, so for someone like Todd McFarlane or something like that, where I loved his Spider-Man, but I just kind of didn't like some of his Peter Parker and that sort of thing. So I'm not necessarily saying I'm big fans of it, but you when you get older, you realize, drawing realistically doesn't mean you're better. You know what I'm saying? And I had to kind of learn that. Even like with Rob Liefeld, I did that one video where I redrew the famous Captain America, and I predicted when I started the video, I predicted that it wasn't going to be as interesting. Even though I'll draw more accurately, I'll put more, correct anatomy, and I said, but at the end of this, I bet you it's not going to be as interesting. And it was exactly as I thought. It's just his that crazy anatomy that people make fun of sometimes. Actually, it's an expression, it's an energy, and it was really pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? And that piece is actually worth a lot of money. It's funny. It's like, that's how much it's selling for, 100,000 or something like that. But it's such an iconic kind of a thing, and it's like you look at Picasso and some of these other guys, and people first thought these guys, it's this crap, and then second sort of passing, people, you know what? Actually, it's not. It's actually really pretty damn cool. So sometimes you have to learn, learn that about that art is different. It's not just, can you draw something realistically? Because then you just set up a bunch of photos or just do AI, and it's like, and there's your thing, and it looks pretty realistic, but it's not art. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Art's got a soul.
Who I didn't understand for a really long time was George Harriman, the creator of Crazy Cat. Now, that's really funny when you think about it, because he basically gave birth to Mickey Mouse and a whole style of artwork. He was an insane genius. I don't draw like that. My brain doesn't go there, but where would we be without this guy? I mean, he's a genius. It's incredible.
Yep. Well, what was the first one, like Yellow Kid? That was the first one to sort of strip.
Winsor McKay's Little Nemo is one of the greatest works of comic art in American history.
Oh my gosh, that guy is freaking, and people don't know about him, that he exists even. like, are you kidding me? He did. I think he did some of the first animation, the Girthy the dinosaur and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's like, man, that guy could draw.
He was good. Dude, he could draw. Sick, dude. He's amazing.
Yeah, I got a book of his, and it's kind of funny because he actually gives advice for dietary advice.
Wow.
And he says something to the effect of, don't eat soft foods, eat hard foods, things that are kind of so. I guess he's kind of saying vegetables. Probably was more a vegetarian,
So I guess sour spaghetti's out and gummy bears I better lay off.
Yeah, exactly. Boy, he'd be right today, except for the potato chips.
Yeah.
But,
oh my Lord.
Okay, what do you think of this Kor-Drath guy?
What do you want me to say? I mean, I love it, dude. It's
He looks badass.
Yeah, he does. He looks badass, and
I want him to be as rough as he can be. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying the character of his chin's beautiful. Like you got that.
Fun,
you know how
it?
like
it's just that's
in the wars. Chin. It's great.
It's like a Bernie Wrightson chin. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
So good, dude.
See, that's the thing. When you study these artists, that's why I was thinking like study the art. Get down and draw it and copy it, kind of, and then it sort of goes in. It's like a chemistry thing. It goes into the mix, and you're put a little bit of this, a little bit of let me add a little bit of Frazetta here, a little bit of Bernie Wrightson there. Maybe a little bit of Todd McFarlane here. Like my Spider-Man. We're talking about Todd. My Spider-Man is a Todd McFarlane Spider-Man now. And when I did the illustrations back then of those, those trading cards and all that stuff, I drew the Todd McFarlane Spider-Man because I saw immediately that this was a superior Spider-Man. The big eyes and stuff. I thought that is cool. It's fun, So you see how too I switched the it spun it, whatever. I flipped it horizontally. That's such a big deal. That's one of the greatest things about Photoshop, being able to go in there and work on it. Because I always use a mirror when I'm working on stuff. Do you ever use the mirror to look at your stuff?
Yeah, sometimes. But now that I did back in the day, but now I just use the computer. Flip horizontal, man, and a phone. Yeah, flip horizontal.
But I'm saying when you're painting, when you work not digital. You use your phone. Oh, I do that too. That like just take a picture and then flip it and take a look at it. But the only thing that kind of sucks about it is you can't work on it when still you have to kind of look at it, what you're doing wrong and then go back and try to fix it.
Yeah, I think also too, because I'm streaming a lot, I can just hold it up to the stream too and flip my camera if I need to, and I get another view of it. So yeah, there's a lot of neat tricks that I can kind of do. So I can open up any of my streaming stuff and I can just go flip the image, mirror image my camera, and then I just hold it up. So we've got so many cool options for solving this stuff now. Man. Yeah, dude.
Tools and toolbox.
That's right. It's the best, man.
Okay, this guy's ready for some hair, because it's really not Kor-Drath. He's like I say, he looks like some of the comics gay guys here now. They're not here, so I can insult them. I can insult them for being
disavow.
Chrome Domus. Look at the Chrome Domusness of the comics gay guys. I shouldn't say it because I'm sure to lose my hair within a couple days afterwards. So, yeah, I'm one of the guys that still has hair. Billy still got it. Let's see, Dan Frega still got it. Wait, no, Dan. Wait, not Dan Frega. What was I thinking of? Art Taber still has it. Has his.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I mean,
when they do the professionals, it's
like
a bald man convention.
Well, illustrators, the
Mostly.
thing that's so crazy is that you talk to people all the time, and illustrators will say that kind of similar thing. They'll go, "Man, could that person paint or draw hair?" It's one of the things we really appreciate in other artists, the ability to just draw really great flowing hair, or you know what I mean, or it's the figure, but it's one of those major metrics. Like Muka, the way he drew hair is influential to so many people. Man, it's just crazy.
I know. And that's, I was about to say Adam Hughes, but I'm thinking, well, Adam Hughes is getting it from Muka, you know?
Yeah, he's amazing, man. Adams, and he's such a nice guy too. He was always so nice to me.
Yeah. I heard that the way he draws, he draws in black and white and then scans it and colors it in the
Mhm.
computer then. Like
Yeah.
with tones and everything. And then just sort of colorizes it. That's wild.
When I brought my wife down to the studio to meet Brian and everybody, Adam was still I think he was starting to do the digital stuff, but he was still also doing the golden acrylic transparent, sprays with the airbrush that Brian was doing as well. And when you talk about people with drawing and painting chops that just blow your mind, like I've got when I was at Gaijin Studios, Adam would take photocopies of the pencils of everything he was working on. So on the shelf right over there, I have Adam Hughes's X-Men Wildcats pencil photocopies of just his pencils on that. Because I was like, Adam, can I photocopy these? He's like, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I must have been such a pest. God bless those guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what's interesting too is to see that stuff like in person. Like when I saw Billy at the Motor City Comic Con,
mhm.
I was really neat to. He was working on one of the she pieces, and then I saw it in person, like the actual. When you see I saw it online, it looked great and all that stuff. But man, when you see an actual drawing in person, the real, real live thing, whatever, it's really pretty incredible to see the fine work and the craftsmanship that is going into that stuff. It's really, really,
Yeah, I mean,
it's. I still want to see the Frazetta. Go to Frazetta Museum, man. Totally.
yeah, I've seen some Frazettas now. I saw the first original Frazettas I saw were at the Peabody Essex Museum in Salem, Massachusetts. They were the ones that Kirk Hammett of Metallica owns, and he had an exhibit of his horror movie posters and things like that. But before that, my only real exposure to originals of the kind of artwork I dreamed of doing when I was a kid was at comic conventions. That's where you would see it. I mean, I didn't live in New York. I lived in Chattanooga, so I'd go to, I'd either fly to a comic convention or I would go to, Atlantic Comic Con, or, when I went to Gaijin Studios, it was like being sort of like let into this, I don't know, this magical place where I could see the people who did the thing working, and I was just blown away. My jaw was on the floor, at that age.
Yeah.
It was big.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, my college professors weren't doing anything like that. I was in college and I was desperate to see people with actual technical ability and skill, and they were that.
Yep.
It
And
was
making a
amazing.
living from it,
Yep.
That's part of it too. Okay. Well, I am kind of done-ish, right?
Nice. Looks beautiful, dude.
It's kind of cool. It looks like
Yeah,
I
man.
wouldn't, I wouldn't insult him.
No, I don't
Well,
think that's a great idea.
I should do he's got a tattoo on his chest.
Yeah, you got to do that.
I forget which way it goes, but it's kind of a lion tattoo. I'll just do a quickie thing here.
Dude,
So here's the great thing about Photoshop, right? So you got this. I'm just drawing in there, full strength, kind of full opacity, but I want it to look like a tattoo.
Yeah.
And now I just go over here and take the opacity down, and it, that's so cool. It looks like it's there.
Awesome.
Maybe I got to darken that a little bit. Let's see. There. Ta-da.
Boom. Looks great, dude.
Now, let me see. I want to figure this out. I think we should, we could end the stream here. We're at 2 hours. Wow.
Yeah.
But I want to see if I can figure out how to put your image here on the screen.
If you click on my image and drag it to where the window is you're sharing, I think it will do it. I could be wrong.
Hang on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Make yourself big first.
Hang on. Let me try this.
Oh,
okay. There.
Did it.
Again. Yeah. There was 3 buttons to push, and I just pushed it. It just said it's full layout. So
there you go.
Is this Frankenstein?
Noodling away. Yeah, I wanted to paint Joe Frankenstein because it may even be there now, but it was almost to 80K. I was going to fire up a stream and talk about Joe Frankenstein and just, do the things we do to get the word out. And then I saw you were streaming talking about Kor-Drath, and I thought, this is perfect. We're both doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Let's get on stream. So yeah, guys, check out Joe Frankenstein and Kor-Drath, The Awakening.
Yeah,
the link
anytime you're streaming and you see me in the chat, throw me the link. I'll pop in.
Yeah, man. Will do.
I love talking about this stuff. And look at this, the colors on this baby. I'm still a little bit slightly mystified at how you do it. You just after, even though I can paint, is it just the medium you're using or something? Because we got these yellows, we got blues, we got greens, we got these. Man. They're not really grays; they're blue grays. It's so subtle. And it's fascinating.
I'm doing the same thing you're doing. Yeah. I mean, it's
I know,
just,
but yours looks different is what I'm trying to say. Yours just looks, it has a graphic painterly approach to it that it's fascinating to me. So
it's got to be the people I steal from, Dan.
That's what I say. If you're going to copy well. That's the thing.
I can tell you.
Hey, Katie Did's here.
Hey, Katie, how you doing?
Well, she's in the chat, so.
No, I know, but I mean, I saw the name. It was a shout out. Yeah, I am. It's crazy because I looked at people who influenced me. It's like if you look at some of the stuff Muka does, Mobius for sure. What's his name? I can't believe I'm blanking. I'm just wiped out. Basil Gogos. I used to be terrified of color, and now I just drop crazy color anywhere and just see what happens. And that's the fun part of this stuff, man.
Yeah.
It makes it fun.
Hey, did I tell you that like we're talking about imperfections, like life being perfect? I don't know if I mentioned to you, like one time I made a stroke in Photoshop, perfect stroke, right? And then I just duplicated it, using the duplicate kind of technique. So I had a perfect feathering, right? And I put it on an object, and it looked terrible. It was like. It looked totally mechanical, and it had no life to it. And I'm like, and I realized it shocked me because I thought, I want perfect feathering. I'm going to do perfect feathering. And as soon as I did that, it looked like crap. And so I learned from that imperfections are the perfect, not the perfect. You know what I'm saying? It was fascinating because these decisions that we make, these very human decisions, even just the random way the paint flows and the way the water drips here, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all those things, all those decisions are communicating something to another person, because that's what this is about: communication. Art is communication, and
100%.
It just blows my mind, how it works.
Yeah, it's still magic, man. I don't know what it is. I love whenever I see artwork, it's always magic. When I look at other people's stuff, I don't think I want to never lose that, I guess is the best way I'd put it. I hope I never lose that.
Yeah.
That's the fun of it.
So are you full into Nosfero 2 now? Are you working on it?
I'm working on Battle Brick Road, the pinup for Battle Brick Road. I'm working on.
Okay.
What am I working on? Nosfero. I'm got the cover and page 1 underway, and then it's just a lot of fulfillment right now. A lot of mailing stuff out. So this is where I am on the cover for. Let me move this light here. Sorry about that, guys. This is where I'm at on the cover for Nosfero 2. So it's I'm working at a little bit of a larger scale, and just playing around with how I can just bring that sort of drama, introducing flintlocks to it, and all sorts of fun stuff that we get to do.
You got so many colors on this piece.
I'm going nuts, dude. It's so fun.
Yeah.
I'll rein it. I usually rein it in a little bit at the end, but I've just been trying to push stuff so that it has that kind of pulp, grab you quality to it that I admire so much in other artists. It's it's the fun part of it. So yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
We're
that's
getting
what
there.
I think.
Art of
You know,
Roy.
I tend to start out with extra color, and then I
Yeah.
that sort of tone it down, bring it in, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Amen,
it's gonna
brother.
be cool.
I'm so excited, man. It's the story's really cool too, and the thing about your first book, man, and the thing I always try to remember is, or remind myself of, is it's like you're trying to go from 0 to 60. You're trying to break the static friction because you're pushing a new idea out there, and the real like it's fun. It's a completely indescribable process. It's a massive learning experience. But when you get to book 2, you really get to expand, and there's a certain amount of pressure that I wouldn't say the pressure is gone, but it's not the same pressure of the first just getting something started. Now you kind of are able to play with some of the stuff you created. So it's one thing to work on a characters or a property. It's another thing to invent them and then try to play at the same time. So that's what's going to be real fun for you on your book, man. Is it's like once you build it out, you're going to have a playground.
Do you ever get the feeling that they say the story starts to write itself? Like once you establish that, right that once you establish that character, you kind of start to know the character. Then the character just sort of like decides what they will do on their own.
Absolutely,
it's kind of wild.
Yeah.
By the way, Art of Roy says, "Get it done, slacker." So,
amen. Yeah,
got to crack the whip. Roy's cracking the whip. Get busy, man.
He's here to help us, man. Yeah. I mean, that's why, like I said, we've got the best folks around us, and grateful that you guys are here, supporting the stuff we do. That's what it's about.
Okay, this baby's a done deal. I mean, I could put some background in it. Maybe I'll do that later. Using just red, blue, and yellow, I managed to pull that off. So
awesome.
But see, like, there's little things on here, little happy accidents. Like this, see this red on his shoulder. I could fix that, but I could just leave it too. Frazetta was so good at that. Just let like, oh, you're sloshing some color on, and you in some areas you pin it down. In the areas of the chin, we got it. That's a little more worked out. But when you get out here, let it be loose and let it be fun. The main thing is the eyes. Got to get them eyes. So he's he's determined. There's so much storytelling in eyes. Really, yeah.
Man. Oh man.
So I have to see what Andy thinks of this. It'll be funny. Or Dennis, and both of them, the creators of Kor-Drath. Available on Indiegogo. Is Marcus still at Marcus? If you can drop a link in, that'd be awesome. And then in the chat for Kor-Drath before I end up this broadcast, it'd be awesome.
Yeah,
So,
man.
I have to get on Katie's show. I've been on Katie. I like dropping in on Katie's shows. It's a lot of fun. She's these clips and what did she say? Something clips or something, whatever. I forget her phrases, but it's really cute. And she's got herself a puppet, which is awesome.
Oh, I just realized I'm not a mod on your channel. Let me type a hi, and then you can mod me, and I can drop the link.
Alrighty. Do I have to do that I have to go to my
YouTube, maybe, where it's
I have to
live.
go to my YouTube. Let's see, where is it? Bring it up. Looks like you dropped in a hi. Okay, and then I make you a add as a moderator. Managing moderator or standard moderator? What
Standard.
do you want here?
Standard. That's all I need.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, let's see if there's anybody else here that.
Let's see if I can get it to work. There it is. Boom. There's the Indiegogo for Kor-Drath, guys. Check it out.
I think, is Past Master a monitor?
Marcus got it too. Excellent, Marcus. My man.
He is now. Past Master. Art of Roy, Are you a moderator? Guess what? The country needs you.
The wrenching.
I'm
Oh,
going
man.
through these. Paul Azar's, I think he's a moderator. He is now.
No, brother, I got to go grab some dinner now. The family is calling. So
Oh,
I'm gonna
yeah.
go grab
Okay,
some
good.
food, man.
All right. Thank
All
you
right,
for
brother.
stopping in, Shant. I'm so.
Thanks for
By the
having
way,
me,
were
man.
you messing with Ethan the other day? You were giving him different pronunciations. Shant.
I was giving him
see?
different pronunciations. Yeah, it was terrible. I was bad. I was off my trolley that time. But yeah, it was a blast, man.
What people want to know, it's the English A. So that's what it's Shant. Like if I'm from
Shant.
England, Shant. It's not Shant
it's
like
just
American.
Yeah,
It's
it's just Sean with a lisp is what I tell people.
Yeah.
Oh,
by
my
the way,
Lord.
man, I texted you, but that was so freaking funny when you did your gay
Doing
guy
my voices. Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
Wait, you got
I've been-
you got the Indian down. That's pretty good. You got the gay guy, and you also have a Southern. Don't you got a Southern?
Mhm. Yep, got a Southern and
You got a Southern, a really good one too. So
Dude,
I want to
it's,
see. I want to hear more. So you're building your repertoire for.
That's
accents.
right. That's right.
Can
Yeah,
you do a
we've got some great
Canadian?
people. Oh no, man!
Can you do a
And
Canadian?
We've
'Cause
got so
that's
many great
kinda-
people.
I say, can you do a Canadian accent? Because that's a tough one, actually.
Oh yeah, no, I can't. No, I can. I
it's
know
so
the
subtle.
It's so subtle, dude. It's so subtle,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, it's close to ours, so it's close to our Midwestern. So yeah.
Mhm.
All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up, and I really appreciate it. And we will see you next time. And maybe Shant and I were thinking of doing talking about doing a show with featuring a particular artist here. They're great masters called the Masters.
Sounds good, man. We'll
Or
figure it
something
out.
like that. Okay.
Yeah, man.
We'll talk to
bless
you
you
later. See
guys.
you, everybody. All right. Bye.